got a little, community announcement to make. It's only 48 days until Christmas. Yep. That's less than 7 weeks away until friends and family are bombarded with gifts like, socks and jocks, chockies, lots of soap and lotion. You know the types of gifts I'm talking about. Now, please don't take that as me being ungrateful for people's thoughts. Because should be grateful that I even got anything. But never fear, because this year it's time to put down the coffee mugs and cheap perfumes. Take a moment and just, how's this? Shop mindfully. But what does that even mean, I hear you ask? Well, we're going to find out right now with Sydney entrepreneur Judith Treanor, who she'll hopefully put an end to you being, the bad gifter, not maybe the bad shopper. Maybe let's call you that for this Christmas time, and think mindfully about what you spend your money on, and if you even need it at all. Welcome, Judith.
Thank you. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, firstly, gotta ask, what's the worst present you've ever been given?
Oh my goodness, that's putting me on the spot.
Look, maybe all of your friends aren't listening.
Maybe the soap. I think you mentioned soap. Yeah, that's a good soap. Never use soap. Use shower gel.
Yeah. Remember the old soap on the rope?
On the rope, yeah, that was a lovely one. Well, then you get the soap that you can stick on the suction one. Remember that? You just stick on the...
Oh, wow, I missed out on that period.
I grew up in England. Maybe it was an English thing.
Oh, look, but all of it's about novelty, I guess, at the end of the day. But it's just senseless. I mean, please, can you explain for us, what is this mindless shopping thing?
I'd say mindless shopping is, another way of calling it, careless consumerism. The act of buying endless disposable stuff, and we all do it, we don't need and probably regret buying. And the most important thing is we're not thinking or knowing or really caring about where it came from, who made it and how it was made. So
because what type of impact does that have? Are we thinking about the impact?
It has a twofold impact. So firstly on our planet, so we cannot keep buying more and more stuff. We're all guilty of it.
And it is, isn't it? It's stuff.
It's just stuff, and we fill up our houses with stuff. And particularly at Christmas, we buy more and more stuff, and we give that stuff to our friends and family, and they unwrap it, and particularly stuff for the kids. And then, come January, it's probably got discarded, and ultimately it's going to end up in landfill. We can't keep piling and piling more stuff. That's just not good for the planet.
So how do you mindful shop? Because, it's not just about walking into a store. We can do it online. We don't even have to leave the four walls of our homes. How can we stop ourselves from saying, how do we talk to ourselves before we press the OK button, the yes, I'm ready to buy this, by saying we don't really need this?
Well, there's a huge ethical, the word we call ethical shopping movement. We're really moving away from mindless consumerism. So there's lots of supportive ways we can do this. There's actually an ethical shopping guide for Australian retailers, actually grades Australian retailers. And there's even apps. There's an ethical shopping app that we can download on a cell phone, believe it or not. So you can do the shopping mall. And you can put your put a certain retailer, they'll remain nameless, and see if they're doing the right thing, if they've sourced their products ethically, or if they're still using those unfortunate age-old supply chains where we are sourcing off, from the factories, the sweatshops.
But even then, that it's only if you really need it.
Exactly, if you really need it, that's right. But as women particularly, we love our fashion, don't we? So
yes.
We've seen an advert, we've seen the magazines. We just want this stuff. It's peer pressure. It's if your friends got something, so we don't necessarily need it, but we buy. And again, look, I feel like I've been rehabilitated up. It was one of the worst ended.
Well, I was about to ask you, Judith, what got you interested in it?
Well, first, like I say, probably, definitely a repeat offender for many. I adore fashion. I adore shoes. I adore handbags as much as maybe even more so than the next lady. But to be honest, I've been very fortunate to travel to Southeast Asia over the last 20 years on and off. And I've met some amazing people making amazing things. And I've also seen, places like Cambodia, where you've got one of the worst situations of poverty, and 20% of the population still lives under the poverty line. But that's one of the countries where some of these factories for the big retailers exist. And yet there's some social enterprises that have sprung up all over the cities in Cambodia, where they're training the locals and women, particularly women, empowering women, bringing them out of poverty and training them into making, giving them skills, making beautiful products, beautiful accessories, jewellery, handbags, whatever it may be, and clothes, often using sustainable products. So over the years I've travelled and I've seen this, I've come back wearing something unique, and I'm not talking expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just something you'd never find here, for example. And people would stop me in the street and they'd say, wow, where did you get that? And I'd say, Vietnam, for example. And that gives you the feel-good factor. That's, buying things, obviously, we get a rush.
Look, I've got it. When we purchase products, it's very easy not to think about how they were produced, right?
Correct.
Like what types of conditions are most, bulk-made Christmas-style gifts, manufactured in. Cord on the text line says, you wanted a blow-up Santa and an elf and snow. Thanks. All stuff. How do you recycle that? Well, and he says wanted, so it's wanted versus needed, isn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yes.
And we're on social media, and we see the adverts down the side of our social media channels, advertising it constantly. It's in our face constantly. It's, I suppose, particularly with Christmas, we've got to try and avoid the panic buy.
Panic buy? I mean, leaving the buying till the last minute.
Yeah.
And then you're just buying rubbish.
You're buying rubbish. And we have so many options, exactly like you said before. The internet has made things so different for us. Get online. There are many, many online retailers doing wonderful things, sourcing products from social enterprises. Go to markets. The markets in Sydney are amazing. Local artisans and local emerging designers making beautiful things. Go support them. Again, it's not expensive necessarily. It's just that these people may not be able to afford to lease a shop, so they're exhibiting in markets.
And Judith, just because we've got, we've got everyone in lounge rooms right now listening all over the state of New South Wales. I mean, what about their local markets and flea markets, and where can they go to find gifts that are recycled, that have been thought about 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 the impact that it's possibly having?
Well, in every city there will be online guides where your local market is. There's one we've got one, I think, the weekend something, Sydney Weekend Guide, I think it is online, but there's so many. You'll find out where your local market, they're everywhere. We're very lucky, particularly in Sydney. So many, you've got the inner west, you've got 2 or 3, and you've got your eastern suburbs. They're all over, and they're on the weekends. And there's more springing up, because the great news is there does seem to be a growing movement of people more and more interested in going to markets, in sourcing and buying artisans.
Oh, they're so much fun, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're so much fun.
They are so much fun. They normally have a great atmosphere. They might have music, there's food. It's a beautiful day out. You can have a coffee.
And most important,
see elsewhere.
And the presents, like I was about to say, they're quite unique.
That's it.
Em, thank you for your text from Brighton Le Sands. Some of us have to be frugal to be able to pay our bills, so we have to carefully watch every cent that gets spent. There is no margin for error or frivolity, not even to waste money on buying coffees at cafes. The cost of a cafe coffee is a loaf of bread instead. Careful, considered spending all the time until brighter days appear, we hope. Careful, considered spending all the time. Yeah, and I think it is about, I just have to mention, I had to have a very serious conversation about to my 14-year-old, because we're downsizing to just 2 people, and she's from a generation who's been brought up by a lot of advertising around her, and she wants to just buy things because it's good. It says that it's got probiotics in it, say for example, or look at this, it's got chia seeds, can I try it? And I've found myself just trying things out for her, and then absolutely seeing the absolute waste because none of it gets eaten. Because, I mean, I'm not even interested in it. I'm just purchasing it because she wanted to try it out. What about the discussions that we have with our, 14-year-olds who actually have the sensibility to think about the wastage of food? It's just senseless buying. What do these conversations sound like, Judith?
I'm so glad you said that, because guess what? I've got a 12-year-old son, so he's kind of in that same generation, and he went through that. I don't know if it's particularly a boy thing, that many crazes as he was getting older, you know, the boy crazes, then it was the Bob Builder, then it was Toy Story, and I'm not going to mention that one and that one.
that one, yeah.
I know, it's hard, and we indulge them.
And we do indulge them, don't we? Because sometimes it's what we didn't grow up with.
That's right. And they're seeing it obviously on the internet, which brings a whole new level of pressure onto everybody. So I do try and make him more aware, and the interesting thing is that it's kind of harking back to Southeast Asia. Again, he's been fortunate. He's travelled a lot through these countries. He's seen how other people in developing countries live. He knows he's got a charmed life, and we have to just kind of put the hand up the hall and say, no, not more rubbish coming into the house. It's just ridiculous. We're not doing this anymore.
But not a lot of us will have the opportunity to take our children to see, situations where villages are really what they do.
Sure.
Really, their livelihood depends on us contributing to what they're producing. How else can we make our children much more mindful? Because they're contributing just as much to what is being brought into the household as we are. We're the ones holding the card, though. How do we expose them to those sorts of things if we can't go to Vietnam and Cambodia?
Well, I think I like to say knowledge is power. So, we do have the internet. There actually are some amazing kids resources that have sprung up quite recently, teaching kids how to be conscious. There's this travel club for kids you can join, and they send them each month information on what's going on in certain places in the world, and just to learn to be more conscious of, in the first world, in Australia. A lot of people might not think we do have a very charmed life, so just try and educate kids that way. It's almost like I kind of have to stop myself, going back to when we were kids and our mum said, you've got to eat that because there's a starving kid in Africa. You do sort of find yourself saying that sometimes.
Well, Judith, we're going to have to leave it there. We're getting into the news right now, but I absolutely appreciate your time tonight. Happy Christmas shopping.
Oh, you too. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye.
That's Sydney's entrepreneur Judith Treanor there from Temples and Markets. Now, coming up after the 9 o'clock news, we've got...